I was sitting, watching television. I heard a woman screaming from the kitchen. And not just any scream. It was as if she had been stabbed with a knife. What made such a thought come to my mind was a red liquid I saw on the floor from afar. This made me call out to my husband Abdelrahman at the top of my voice. But unfortunately, Abdelrahman did not answer me. And when he did respond, he was asking me for help to save him. His voice came from the bedroom at that moment. He was coughing and had only one sentence on his tongue. "Mona, can you hear me, Mona?" I could hear him, but I was afraid. Afraid to go inside and see what had happened to him more than the thing that was with him, which made me scream loudly and call for help after I opened the apartment door, hoping someone would save us, for the sake of kinship before humanity, as we live in a family house. But despite that, no one heard me. The house was completely empty, and with all this, the sound of the woman screaming in the kitchen began to return. But this time, she was saying, "Death. I smell the scent of death." She repeated this sentence more than once, until the voice of my husband Abdelrahman returned again. "Mona, let me go, Mona." In the name of God and with His blessing, let's start the episode. In the name of God. This episode is a true story that actually happened. It is a new story from this series of listeners' experiences and tales. Your own stories. Let's start today's episode and say, in the name of God. At that moment, the scene changed before me. I was standing in the bedroom, choking Abdelrahman. And not only that, my clothes were all stained with something red in color. I realized that this thing was strawberry juice from its smell. But what happened and what made me do that, I don't know. But when I let go of Abdelrahman and he started to catch his breath, he spoke and said to me, "Do you want to kill me, Mona? Have you gone mad?" I didn't know what to say to him. All I did at that moment was swallow hard as I replied to him. I don't know what happened, I swear. Suddenly I was outside, and suddenly I found myself here. I don't understand anything, and I don't remember what happened. I swear to God 3 times, I don't remember it. Abdelrahman wiped his face with his hand, taking a deep breath. Then he said to me, "I seek forgiveness from God the Almighty. It's normal for you to imagine things. You haven't slept for 2 days. What should I do then? You know, I have a pain in my stomach. It's been 2 days and it won't go away. But I swear to God 3 times I don't know what it is that I did." "Fine, then we will go to a doctor. We cannot just remain silent like this and do nothing." "Alright, whatever you see fit. But the important thing is to make sure you're okay first. Are you okay?" "I am fine, dear. Thank God." "You calm down. And don't tremble. Nothing happened." My husband thought that I was sleepwalking. But he didn't know that the matter was much worse than that. And what happened was just a beginning, nothing more. The beginning of many very terrifying things that I discovered. It all started the day after what happened, when I was asleep and woke up to a buzzing sound. A sound that pierced my ears and caused me distress. This sound woke me up and made me look left and right like a lunatic. While looking around, I saw a specter pass in front of the door. At that moment, I looked at Abdurrahman and tried to wake him. But unfortunately, Abdurrahman was fast asleep. I called and shook him hard, but he didn't wake up. Because I'm a coward by nature, I stayed sitting on the bed, tense and scared. From that tension, sweat was pouring off me like a fountain. It was 50 degrees, and I didn't know why. But wait. The temperature was actually 50 degrees and maybe even more. What made me say that was the intense heat in the room. And not just that, the heat. I suddenly smelled something burning. Then I saw a very high fire in the room, and this fire caught on the carpet. From behind it, I noticed a creature standing and smiling. Its face was completely burned and its eyes were pitch black. The strangest thing was its body, which consisted only of legs and arms. Nothing more, or to put it more clearly, it was just limbs, with a very large burned head on top. And he wasn't the only one burned. My husband, Abdurrahman, finally woke up from his sleep too, without me even talking to him. He woke up and started screaming, saying, "My hair! My hair!" I looked at his hair and found it fully engulfed in flames, and a burning smell was rising too. At that moment, I didn't realize what I was doing until I tried to put out the fire. When I put it out, I found Abdurrahman laughing in a way that terrified me. A laugh that made my heart jump out of its place. And with his laughter, I found him speaking. He said to me, "This is the beginning, Mona. You will be mine, and I will never leave you. Do you understand, Mona? Do you understand?" He said that and hugged me. He smelled very bad, and his singed hair was on my shoulder. From the shock and the heart-stopping state I was in, I closed my eyes, and kept saying, "Oh God, oh God." And thank God, as soon as I opened my eyes, I found myself sleeping on the bed normally. But I am not what matters. What matters to me is Abdurrahman. But where is he? Abdurrahman wasn't sleeping next to me. Even his phone wasn't on the nightstand. In that moment, I didn't think of anything but to grab my phone and call him. And as soon as I did that, with the very first ring, he answered me while panting, saying, "Yes, my love, is something wrong?" "Abdurrahman, you okay? Is something wrong with you, honey?" "I'm doing great, but what's the matter?" "Nothing. It's just that I woke up and didn't find you next to me, so I got scared that something might have happened to you." "Something happened to me, my dear? I am perfectly fine here." "Then what's wrong? Why are you panting like that?" "Mona, you seem like you're still sleepy and not fully awake. Call me when you're awake. Besides, today is Wednesday, and I am used to going to the gym in the morning to get a workout before work, huh? And then, of course, I get a workout after work." I checked the date and found it was indeed Wednesday. And when I looked around, I found the place is fine and nothing is wrong. There's no fire and no trace of one. Since I didn't understand what was happening, I reassured Abdurrahman and hung up. After that, I took a shower to snap out of what happened the last 2 days, and I started cleaning the house. But while I was cleaning, I saw the shadow of a being entering the bathroom. At the time, I didn't pay it any mind and told myself I was just imagining. But when I saw that being's shadow standing right next to me, I froze in place and was unable to move. Especially since that shadow wasn't unfamiliar to me, because it looks a lot like the same being I saw yesterday. And the fact that a shadow is next to me now means I'm definitely not dreaming. And this is certainly real. Yes. It's real, but I don't know how or when to wake up from it. Because this being touched me with one of its limbs, and as soon as it touched me, I started reciting the Shahada. And I kept saying to myself, "Oh God, oh God." So why didn't I say it out loud? Because my tongue was tied, and my body was still frozen, meaning I couldn't speak or even say a word. As for the being, it spoke and said in a high-pitched voice that caused terrible pain inside my ears, "Leave. Leave. This place. You have no place here. Your presence means you are defying them, and defying them means you are defying us. Do you understand?" It said that and went silent. At that moment, I didn't know what to say or answer, but it was clear it was waiting for my response. because when it found me still silent, it raised its voice and said,
Answer. Give me your decision, because your yes or no will determine many things.
You're not real, I'm dreaming, oh God. Let me wake up, let me wake up. When my tongue was finally freed, and I said that, the apartment door knocked, and with it, the being disappeared from my side, and my body relaxed more than before. At that moment, I moved toward the door quickly and opened it, and I found Hiba, Abdurrahman's cousin, standing in front of me. I hugged her, trembling and crying. Hiba didn't realize what was happening, but she patted me and took me inside to sit me down on the sofa, and she sat next. And when I started to calm down a little and wipe my tears, I heard her speaking. She said to me, "What's wrong, Mona? Did you see a demon or what?" "Yes, I saw one. And since yesterday, I've been seeing it next to me and all around me. Hiba, I'm scared. I'm very scared, and I don't know what to do." "Calm down, my dear. Calm down. Everything will be resolved, God willing." "Resolved how, exactly?" "I'm afraid to stay in the apartment alone. Something might happen to me." "Calm down, honey. Calm down and explain it to me. I swear I only came up when I heard a loud crashing sound. I thought maybe you were cleaning and needed someone to help you or something." "Cleaning what, Hiba?" "I'm telling you, since yesterday I've been seeing the devil in the house." "All right, my dear, pray to the prophet and tell me. So what happened?" I told her everything that happened in detail. At that point, her eyes widened and she sought refuge in God from the cursed devil. And because I didn't know what to do or even how to act, I agreed to her suggestion, which was that I should go see Sheikh Salim. He's a man she says is experienced and will solve this matter, because she suspects that some magic has been cast on me. Honestly, I'm scared, and after what I saw, I can stay in the house alone for another second. That's why I agreed, and we arranged for her to set an appointment for us to go. The appointment would be the next morning. This is so that Abdurrahman is at work and doesn't know I'm going anywhere. I know him well. If he knew I was going to a place like this, he might divorce me. And that is something I neither wish for nor want. But at the same time, I'm scared. I need to see a sheikh. I'm between two choices. If I tell him, he won't take me because he'll think it's nonsense. So I go behind his back, and maybe the cure will be at the hands of the sheikh. Honestly, I chose the second option. The next morning, an hour after Abdurrahman left for work, Hiba came up to make sure I was dressed and ready. When she found me ready, she took my hand and we went out quietly. We left the house and caught a tuk-tuk at the end of the street. Hiba explained the route to him and he started moving. He went through very strange streets and alleys I didn't know. That's because I'm not from this area. I barely know the way from the market to the house, and that's it. But now I know a new route, because the tuk-tuk stopped in front of a house that looks like ours and isn't much different. We got out of the tuk-tuk and I paid him after a long argument between me and Hiba over who should pay. When I paid him, we entered the building entrance to a ground floor apartment. Hiba knocked on the door, which I found was open. Someone from inside said, "Come in, Hiba, you arrived. Right on time." I was surprised that the sheikh knew Hiba, even if she had spoken to him. His tone of voice suggested that he had known her for a long time. That's what made me whisper to her, "Where do you know this man from, Hiba?" "Enough, be quiet." "What do you mean, man, Mona? Sheikh Salim has a great secret. Do you know? He even knew my name without me telling him on the mobile. And he even communicates with people on his mobile. What else? Fatin, our neighbor, handed out his number to each of us. She told us he's a well-connected man who gets to the bottom of things no matter what. But may God protect us." We went in to see Sheikh Salim. We found him sitting on a couch holding prayer beads in his hand. I was surprised then, but not by the beads. No, I was surprised by the general atmosphere. Because before I came here, I expected to see sheikhs like the ones in the movies. You know, incense, someone chanting and all that stuff. But he looked like a very normal person, wearing a galabeya and holding prayer beads. Despite that, his manner was strange. Strange and suspicious, just like sheikhs of this kind, exactly. Because as soon as he saw me, he stared at me very intensely. After that, he closed his eyes and kept moving the prayer beads in his hand. Then after a few seconds, he finally spoke and said to me, "There is no power and no strength except by Allah." There is no power and no strength except by Allah. What is this, my daughter? Who is this devil standing in your way? I swallowed hard and replied nervously, "Who is the devil standing in my way, sir?" A roof sorcerer? Why, not just anyone knows how to do it. And what you are seeing will not leave you until it achieves its purpose. At that moment, Hiba interrupted the conversation. "What do you mean, Sheikh? Do you mean he is a lover Djinn?" I was startled by what Hiba said, but the Sheikh had a different opinion. He replied as he opened his eyes, quote, "He is a Djinn, but not a lover. He is a dangerous type of Djinn, like a messenger. He comes and tells his owner what is required, and if he doesn't obey him, he will keep after him until he loses what is dearest to him." His words scared me more than I already was, and that made me reply nervously, "What do you mean, sir? I don't understand anything. And what is the solution to this story exactly?" "The solution is for you to carry out what is required. Otherwise, you will lose someone dear to you." "No, I don't understand anything. Could you explain more?" "Come closer, my daughter." Hiba took me by the hands and moved with me toward the sheikh. We stood in front of him and he asked me to tilt my head. Then he placed his hand on me and kept reciting invocations. And after about a minute, my body felt electrocuted and the sheikh tumbled off the sofa. Then he kept panting and shouting at me, ordering me to leave here immediately. I didn't understand why he was doing that, but I was afraid of him and my conscience started to hurt. I felt that what was happening was wrong. And the mistake from the beginning was that I went behind Abdurrahman's back. And speaking of him, I found him standing in front of me furious and saying, "What brought you here, Mona? Are you leaving the house behind my back?" I didn't know what to say to him, and all I did was try to make excuses. I was indeed excusing myself with disorganized words that made him angrier and pull me by my hands hard. And when Hiba tried to stop him, he pushed her and shouted at her. In the midst of this, the sheikh got up from the floor and said, startled, "Look, what you have is a great spell. And if you don't stay away from your husband, his house will be harmed because of you, and not just him, but you too. You too." Abdurrahman didn't let him say another word. He shouted at him saying, "You shut up, you crazy man. It's better I will take my anger out on you. I swear to God, if I set my mind on you, know that the theatrics you're doing will bring about your end." Abdurrahman said that and took me by the hand to head downstairs. And when Hiba tried to fix things and justify it with any words, Abdurrahman shouted at her for the second time. At that point, I stayed quiet and didn't speak until we got home. Upon our return, she went up to her father's apartment and we went up to ours. As soon as we entered, Abdurrahman lashed out at me, raising his voice. He shouted at me in a way he never had since we got married. I was shocked, and because I'm sensitive, I couldn't stop crying at him. I just took off to my father's house, walked in without a word to anyone, went to my room, and broke down in tears. My mother came in to see what was wrong, but I didn't answer her. Like any father who loves his daughter, My dad went to Abdurrahman very angry. He asked him if he had bothered me or done anything to me. That's when he explained and told him everything that happened. When he finished, my father calmed down and understood that I was in the wrong. Even so, he scolded him for his approach. He told him that's not how things should be resolved. Matters should be resolved calmly, and everyone makes mistakes. Then it was my turn, because when my father returned home, knowing everything, he came straight to my room and closed the door behind him. He sat in front of me, looked into my eyes, and said, "Why did you do this, Mona? Are we the kind of people who deal in magic and spells now?" "Dad, you don't understand. I swear I was scared. When Heba told me and convinced me, I agreed right away." "Does everyone who tells you something get you to do it, my dear Mona? We have a mind to think with. Your husband has rights over you. You should have told him about something like this immediately. Look at where your actions have led things." "I'm sorry, Dad. I swear I won't do it again." He pulled me into a hug and said, "Now, wipe your tears and get some sleep. Tomorrow morning, you will go back to your house and your husband." "But Dad..." "But what?" I was afraid to tell him what the sheikh said in case he yelled at me. That's why I stayed silent and obeyed him. All I asked was for him to come with me, and he agreed. He patted me gently before leaving and closing the door. The next morning, I changed my clothes and went with him to the house. I opened the apartment door, and just as I was about to step inside, I caught a glimpse of Heba standing with Abdurrahman in the living room. Not only that, she was flustered when the door opened and adjusted her clothes. As for Abdurrahman, he couldn't utter a word. He stood frozen in place, staring at my father, not knowing what to say, not knowing what to say. My father had the strangest reaction when he looked at me like that. He told me, "I'm sorry, my daughter. Let's go." "But go where? My husband is cheating on me right in front of my house. I'm supposed to just stand here with my arms crossed and do nothing. No, that's not who I am." I ran at her, shoved her, and screamed at the top of my lungs. And that wasn't all. I grabbed her and started fighting with her. Abdurrahman just stood there watching, not saying a single word. Of course, my father came over and pulled me away from her with great difficulty. He yelled at me and demanded relief, but what good was it now, after the whole house gathered and saw the scandal? They saw my husband cheating on me. But why would he cheat on me? What did I even do? And he's cheating with Heba, who's been right in front of him for so long. This is very strange. It made me ask him, "Why? Why did you do this? Tell me she seduced you and played you. But why play you now? Why play you while you were married?" Heba, I couldn't stand the insult anymore, especially since her family was standing there watching, and so finally spoke up and said, "No, my dear, I didn't seduce anyone or do anything to anyone. Abdurrahman has loved me for a long time, and if anyone seduced him, it was you. What you don't know is that he's the one who suggested we do black magic. Yes, magic to make you see wonders and misery. And when I found out about it and that it succeeded, I came to you right away. I pulled the trick on you and took you to the sheikh. And just as I agreed with Abdurrahman, it happened. He came to us while we were there and put on that show to make you divorce. But I am perfectly pure, and I stand here with my honor. He can't touch a hair on my head except in a lawful way." "What lawfulness, you girl? And you Abdurrahman, why did you do this?" "I did it, but by God, I don't know how. My head wasn't with me. And what happened was just a whim. I didn't wait for another word from him. I left him and walked out of that apartment while I was crying. My father followed me and comforted me until we got home. And when we returned, he left me to sit alone. So now what? Right now I have made only one decision, that I will get a divorce. Yes, that is my decision. But the question here is, am I right in this decision or not? Could I have given him a chance, forgiven him, and gone back? Or is type of person not worth giving a second chance to at all. Especially since I was in the house, as they say, of scorpions. And thus the episode has ended. Today in today's story, I thank the writer Andrew Sharif for writing the episode in the radio format that you just heard. I also thank the writer Mohammed Jaban for preparing all the episodes of the General Horror program. And in the end, my friend, you have the right to believe or disbelieve all or part of the story. For these are the experiences of the listeners, your own stories. In the end, I thank you very much. If you are new to the channel, please don't forget to subscribe, join the channel, and turn on the bell button so you receive everything new. But if you are one of the people who likes to support me, please don't forget to like, comment, and share. Thank you very much. You are with Mohammed Gawali and the General of Horror program. Peace be upon you.